Hey everybody, so today we're going to start talking about exponential functions. So you learned about them last year, but really want to see if we can nail down why things happen the way they do and make sure that we're really solid moving forward. So let's start off with a little problem here. So this is exponential functions day one. So exponential functions. So let's say you get a new job and your salary, that's not how you spell salary, but we'll keep it. Your salary is $10,000 per year. Not a very good salary, but you'll take what you can get. And you get a 4% raise every year, 4% annual raise, which is that's pretty good. Okay, so there's a formula to figure out how much you make after blah 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 years, and we'll figure out what that formula is. You probably already remember it, but let's just make sure that we know where that formula comes from. Okay, so the first year you work there, you make $10,000. All right, that's pretty easy. So then what about year two? So the second year, how much money are you going to make? So you're going to make your $10,000 that you made last year, but then you get this raised. So let's talk about this 4% raise for a second. How do we calculate this? And there's a couple of ways we could do it. The first thing is, if you're getting a 4% raise, all you're doing is you're just multiplying your salary by 0.04, right? 4% is 0.04. So really that's what you're going to do. You're going to take your salary times 0.04. So 10,000 times 0.04, so this right here, this is going to tell you what your raise amount was. So that doesn't tell you your new salary, but that tells you what your raise is, okay? So you do 10,000 times 0.04, and that's how much new money you get this year. And then you can't forget about the money that you're already making, your base salary, so you still have to add in that $10,000, okay? So this is how we figure out our raise, and then this is our original amount. Now, you probably do this already, like if you go to the store and you buy a pair of jeans and you have sales tax, right? So this would be like how much the jeans cost plus how much the tax is going to be. So if we want to simplify this, we could factor out this 10,000. And then what's left over? We have 0.04 plus 1 left over in my parentheses there. And so we see that this is 10,000 times 1.04. So this right here, this is my new salary. Okay? And so you guys probably remember last year there was something about 1 plus the raise and stuff like that. But that's where this comes from. We have our raise plus what we made last year. If we factor out this 10,000, it's 10,000 times 1 plus 0.04, and that's our new salary. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here in year two. We're going to take our old salary and then times 1.04. So this is last year times, don't forget about your raise. Okay, so then year three, we're going to keep up kind of our same strategy here. We're going to take last year's salary, which was 10,000 times 1.04. So this represents what I made last year. But then I get a raise. And so my raise is 4%, so times 1.04. And that represents my raise. So this would be year three salary. And I could do one more just so we can make sure we see the pattern here. So the fourth year, this is what I made last year. So all this was year three. And then I get a raise. So times 1.04. Okay? And you can kind of see the pattern emerging here, right? So we take our initial 10,000 times 1.04 times 1.04 times 1.04, which we could rewrite as 1.04 to the third. Okay? So my formula is 10,000 times 1.04, and we can just say to the t, and we can call this function f of t, and we have to be a little bit careful, like year 0 would actually correspond with what we call our first year here, right? Because this on year 4 was 10,000 times 1.04 to the third. It's my third new year working there, so you just gotta be a little bit careful with that. Okay, but this is my formula for how much I would make at this job. 10,000, that's how much money I started with. You gotta remember the 1 in there because that makes sure that you don't forget the money you made last year. 0.04 because my rate was 4%, and then keep your exponent there. Okay, so your formula that I'm sure you guys already remember from last year, if we're talking about exponential growth, let's see, how do we want to write this? Let's do f of t equals, we'll do a as my initial amount times 1 plus r, you can call that my rate, to the t power. So what do all these letters mean? So a, we'll call that my initial, or sometimes you might see that as principal. R is my growth rate. And then t is time. In this case, it was years. Okay? So, and then I guess f of t would be like your final amount. So we take our initial amount, 1 plus my rate, my growth rate, to the t. T is going to be usually time, years, seconds, minutes, depending on the problem. Okay? So let's pause there for a sec, and we'll talk about a different problem. Okay, so here's 2 simple questions that are going to be pretty similar to your Delta Math assignment today. So nothing crazy today, just kind of remembering what we did last year. So first one is you buy a rare antique. It's $5,000. Its value appreciates. It's going up by 12% per year. How much will it be worth in 10 years? Okay, no problem. So f of x, or t, so my equation would be 5,000, my initial amount, times 1 plus my percent, so 12%, that'd be 0.12, and then to the x, or to the t. So in my calculator, if I want to know after 10 years, f of 10 equals 5,000 times 1.12 to the 10th power. I'm just going to grab a calculator and throw that in. I'll do that here in a second. Okay, so that's the first one. Pretty straightforward. The next one, so we buy a new car. Congratulations. You know, it costs $72,000. Wow, nice. You must have graduated from that first job yet. So its value depreciates. So now my value is going down, exponential decay, by 8% annually. I want to know how much is it going to be worth in 7 years. All right, so what do I do here? So I'm still going to start with my 72,000 is my initial value. But now my car is losing value, exponential decay. So if I'm losing value, now instead of doing 1 plus my rate, I'm going to do 1 minus my rate. Okay? Because I'm no longer losing value, or I'm no longer gaining value, now I'm losing that 8% every year. Okay? Now, and then this is still to the t power. Now, here's where you're going to mess this up. You're going to mess it up right there. If you mess this problem up, you messed it up here. Here's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to do this. You're going to want to just forget about the 1 minus, and you're going to want to put just 0.08 or something like that. Okay? So don't do that. So if you're losing 8%, you don't have 8% left. You have 1 minus whatever that rate is. Okay? So if I want to know my car's value after 7 years, now I'm just going to type that in my calculator. Okay? Now here's a little trick for you, a little life hack. If it's losing 8%, that means it's keeping 92%. So if you want a little life hack, you go to the store, and let's say there's a $30 shirt But today's our lucky day. It's 40% off. Wow. Okay. So something you could think about to do this quicker in your head. My wife takes me shopping. I'm pretty sure the only reason she takes me with her is so I can calculate sales tax off or percent off for. So if it's 40% off, that means it's 60% on. So instead of doing 40% times 30, okay, that's $12. 30 minus 12. Instead of doing that subtraction, if it's 40% off, that means it's 60% on. And then I'll just do 0.6 times 30, that's 18. So it's going to be $18 is going to be that shirt. So there's a little life hack for you. If it's 40% off, that means it's 60% on. 6 times 3 is 18. $18 is what that shirt's going to cost. Congratulations. So there's a little life hack. Hashtag life hack. All right. So if I'm 8% off, that means I'm 92% off. That's what that means. All right. So let's go ahead and grab a calculator. All right. So if I did this right, my antique's going to be worth $15,529.24 after 10 years, and your car is going to only be worth $40,164.96. Okay. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Like I said, the delta math should be pretty much just like these. If you missed it the first time, I can almost guarantee it's because you messed up something in here. You either moved the decimal too many or not enough, or you forgot to do the 1 and from, or the 1 minus. So just be careful with your equations. If you need any help, let me know, and we'll talk to you soon.